AD, welcome to Hotel de Roxy. Come on in. Well, first of all, this place is called Hotel de Roxy. It's named after my mother because it was her dream to come live in Paris. She wanted to retire after doing 11 seasons of The Jeffersons, and she never got to do it. So I'm doing it for both of us. And this place is a real gift. I've been in this house for 22 years now, but I've been in Paris my whole career. When my first album, Let Love Rule, came out in '89, they weren't quite sure how to market me in America because I didn't fit in a box. So they sent me to Paris. It's my favorite city in the world. It's just an inspiring place culturally, music, art, fashion, cuisine. It's got it all. I love Paris, but I love this house. And I walk through the front door into this entry, and I knew I was at home. This place was made to make music in. It's got the most beautiful reverb. As you can hear, I got the opportunity to work with Steinway, and I designed this grand piano a few years ago, and it's a piece that I'm really proud of. I wanted to use an African form for the piano and blend the two styles of European design and African design. And I designed it for this space. The legs, as you can see, are hand carved. And all of the design started with the design of the legs. And all of the bronze work is all hand done. And the pedals are the same. This house continually pays tribute to my ancestors. And as you'll see as we walk through the house, there's photographs of them everywhere. All of this photography tells a story throughout the house, through Black history, American and African. It's all African. But that's Gordon Parks, who's one of my favorite photographers and artists, and I had the pleasure of getting to know him before he passed. And this photograph is taken by Ouija. It reminded me of my family, of my grandparents, when they used to take me out in New York City. And you would get dressed. You'd put on, as we would say, your Sunday best and go out on the town. This is the Petit Salon. It's called the Roxy Room. And it's dedicated to my mother. She was the love of my life. I was a mama's boy. I found a bunch of photographs that my father had taken of my mother in the late 60s and got them framed by the same framer that does a lot of framing for the Louvre. I just wanted to have a room where I was surrounded by her image. This is my favorite photograph of my mother. It's just a moment, and I love the composition, the hat, the look on her face. And that photograph, one of the major ways that I remember her is in the late 60s, she would read poetry in Central Park. And this guy, he used to play the guitar, and she would sit like that and read Langston Hughes and other poets. It's one of the deepest impressions I have of her. For me, soul is the most essential element. Putting yourself into it, whatever your soul is. You know, people ask, well, how do you define your design? I call it soulful elegance. You know, it's being elegant, sophisticated, but with soul, you know, with your heart, with your spirit. Because design and elegance without that feeling is just designer names and, you know, stuff. But when you're collecting, and it really reflects who you are, what you are, where you've been. It's beautiful, you know? Whatever your style is, just being authentic to who you are. We all have to tell our story. This is the Petit Salon, and this is where I receive folks. This is where we hang out. We all sit around, sit on the floor and play music. It's got a lot of art in here that I love. The whole room is built around Muhammad Ali, his legacy, and his message captured by Andy Warhol. I love Andy Warhol, but I love Muhammad Ali. And yes, he was the greatest boxer, but what I love about Muhammad Ali is the humanitarian work, the civil rights work. He was a freedom fighter, and that is so important. If you think about the things he was saying at that time in the 60s, he said some very challenging things, but he was so intelligent and he had a great wit and strength, and he knew how to balance that all together. This room is about that. Another thing that I love about this room is this is the first chandelier that I designed, that Kravitz Design did. This chandelier was made for Swarovski, and it was in one of the art fairs years ago. It's called the Hotel de Roxy. Some of the articles in here that are giving me so much vibe are these African sculptures that I got from Church Boutique, which is one of my favorite boutiques in the world. It's run by my good friend Rodney Burns, and he has curated quite a few things in the house. Yeah, these chairs were done by Kravitz Design many, many years ago. I love when you do something years ago and you have no idea where they're going to end up, but when they end up where they are, it looks like they were designed for that space. At the end of the day, it's all about comfort, creating an ambiance where you can feel relaxed, a space that opens communication. The lines, the silhouettes, the fabrics, the lighting, the art, you know, all of it. It all matters, but at the end of the day, if the room is not comfortable, then it's not working. This is the dining room. I like to have dinner parties and invite interesting people from all different backgrounds to sit and enjoy a meal and conversation. This room is centered around this photograph of my grandfather, who was the head of the family and such an inspirational figure to me. This photograph was taken by Reuven Afanador years ago in Nassau, Bahamas. I love that he's here looking over the table, still blessing everyone who comes in here. I feel his presence and I love seeing him every day. This room's all about the nighttime. I never have lights on very bright. People come in here and they think it's quite dark. So the lights are always on very dimly, and it just feels rich and warm and vibey. And that's the way I like it. This is by one of my favorite artists in the furniture world. I have several pieces of his. I've been collecting him for a long time. This is Paul Evans. He was an absolutely incredible artist, and I'm just drawn to his work, how brutal, how elegant. This table is designed by Carl Springer, and I've had this for many years. I love it. The lacquer is just worn. It's got a lot of character. These are Africa chairs. Scarpa had these for a very long time. They just made their way to Paris. And the two chairs at the end I found at the Paris flea market at Les Pouces, where I go every week. One of my favorite things to do in Paris, looking for furniture and art from all these wonderful vendors that really curate well. We're in the library, and this library probably means the most to me because my mother, she kept speaking about learning French and reading books, and that she wanted to have a library. And it was something that stuck with me. And it's actually filled with a lot of books that she had. A lot of the African art books were hers, and a lot of the literature was hers. Those are James Brown's boots. James Brown is it. James Brown is the funk. James Brown is the rhythm. James Brown taught me so much and gave the world so much joy and full of powerful messages. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Downstairs is the work floor. That's where the studio is. Well, I collect pieces that have great meaning and inspiration to me. People that changed my life, that inspired me, that educated me. And all of the things I have down there came to me different ways. Some personally, Jimi Hendrix, James Brown, Prince, Bob Marley, Miles Davis, John Lennon. On my birthday many years ago, I was at Yoko Ono's place in the Dakota, and she said, "Today's your birthday." I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Come here." She took me into the room where there was a set of drawers that still had John's clothes in it, and she pulled out this beautiful shirt. She said this was one of his favorites. Happy birthday. We're in the bedroom. It's a gift to be able to sleep peacefully every night. The word recreation is recreation. When you're an artist, to be able to continually be inspired, you have to continually recreate so that you can be vibrating at the frequency you need to be able to pick up the things that you're being transmitted. I'm just an antenna, you know. I don't do this. It comes to me. This room provides that space for me to be able to close the doors and recreate myself on a daily basis. It's such a luxury to have a room with this kind of volume, and the oval shape is just extraordinary. And very few pieces. Really, it's just the bed and 2 chairs, 2 tables and 2 lamps and a console. But they're all very substantial and hold weight. And so you're able to put very few things in the room, but they're all very bold and give a lot of energy. And of course, the Moroccan rugs, which I've always loved. You know, I sleep on the floor sometimes. This portrait that you see on the wall is the first thing I ever got at the flea market here in Paris. Back in the early 90s, Vanessa Paradis turned me on to the flea market. We used to go together all the time to buy furniture. And I saw this beautiful charcoal drawing of Leontine Price, who I love, one of the best opera singers ever. I bought it just like that, came in that frame. That portrait has been with me since then. I just love the elegance and the strength of her image, you know, and she was just an incredibly gifted singer. Music is essential. You know, I have Bang & Olufsen all throughout the house. I love their products. I love their design. I did not want to have a television in the bedroom. I have this room next door where I can watch films, and there's a guest room where my special guests stay. And then you have the landing, the area out there where I sit sometime. That's it on this floor. So now I'm going to take you down to the basement so you can experience the heart and soul of this house. Come on. The design of this house. It's been an evolution because I moved in here when it was empty, did work on the place, put it together in the way I felt at the time, but I've evolved over the last 22 years. And so the house has just been completed to where it's at the place that I am now. And I know that this will last. I won't need to touch it again in my lifetime. It represents so many parts of my history, my story, my evolution. and Zoe will take it from here. AD, thanks for coming by. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and next time you're in Paris, ring the bell. Door's always open. Peace.